Folks, good morning. My name is Mandeep Khera, for those of you who don't know me. I'm the chapter leader for the Bay Area OWASP, and I'm going to introduce our next keynote speaker. And she went through a major ordeal yesterday, so be kind to her, and I'll let her tell the full story. So Dr. Chenxi Wang is a principal analyst with Forrester, and so she covers cloud security and application security. Prior to that, she was with the KSR. And before that, she was an associate professor with Carnegie Mellon. She has a PhD in computer science. But besides the bio, so I've given a bunch of joint presentations with Chenxi, and she's really passionate about app security, and she's been educating the industry. So I know you'll enjoy her talk. So please give a warm welcome to Dr. Chenxi Wang.
I have to thank Mandeep especially because he is a hero to me, because yesterday I flew from London to Los Angeles, having done a few days of client work, and I got in, I walked out of the plane to the rental car, got in my car, and I froze. I did not have my laptop. I left my laptop on the plane. Having spent many hours in flight working on this presentation, it never happened to me before. I was livid, and they did not have my laptop. Even now, they don't have my laptop. So I got in with nothing on me. It's like losing a member of my family. Well, we'll get to that later. And to make things worse, I got in, and the conference organizer was very nice and let me use one of their spare laptops. I logged in 5 minutes, logged in, the laptop locked up and refused to reboot, and got into an infinite loop of core dumping. I literally had the death touch yesterday. So anyway, enough about that. Today's a new day, and my luck can only go up. So let's talk about application security. My talk has actually many of the same points that Jeff just made. However, I have a different take on it. It's literally a jungle out there, and what are we going to do about it is what I will be focusing on. This is the one. Okay. So application security, as you know, is a small market. We looked at it's about probably a little over 600 million today worldwide. Okay, this technology and services combined together. This is nothing comparing to the multi-billion-dollar market of infrastructure security. And if you look at some of the industry resources, the information about how many hacks are concentrated on application layer and web applications in specifically, we're not spending nearly enough, right? The spending is just disproportional, and everybody here knows about that. Why is that the case? Why aren't people spending more on app security? Developers simply don't write secure code, and they are not going to start anytime soon. And we have to realize that. Another big problem that I hear every day is legacy programs. I can't tell you how many times a CISO will tell me, I've got this 5-year-old, 10-year-old program that's making company money. We know it's vulnerable. There's no way I'm going to take it down and fix it. Okay? So you cannot tell people to take things that are operational, that's functional, to do security work. It's just not going to happen. Okay? And those two facts remain. Anybody who thinks it's going to change soon is a romantic. I used to believe, when I was in academia, I used to believe that after years of evangelism, after years of outreach and education, we can change the industry. Today, I no longer believe that. Developers will not write secure code, and they will not start anytime soon. So let's go back to the consequences that for every dollar that's spent on application security, there's about $10 spent on infrastructure security. And it's going to be this way for the foreseeable future. To go back to these two facts that are in our way, okay? Why are they the case? Developers don't write secure code because they don't have the expertise, they're not trained. What are we going to do about it? In the past, I would say, let's do developer training. Let's send them through schools. Let's bring an expert, educate them. What's the success rate? Be honest. It's low. What's the immediate impact or near-term impact? It's low. I don't start seeing people writing secure code. They're under time to market pressure because they pay to write code. They're not paid to write secure code. We can tell people to change the incentive structures. How likely is that going to happen? It's not going to happen. Even if it does happen, the immediate impact is probably low. You still got developers who don't know how to do it, right? One other reason that they don't start writing secure code. The application security technologies today are too complex to use. Okay, this is a quote from a CISO that I worked with directly. It took 6 months to get the static analysis project into a stable state we can actually use for one single code project. This is not scalable. It's not sustainable. You can't tell developers to not do their work and take 6 months to do this. The application security technologies today, they focus on the wrong things. They look for vulnerabilities. They do not prove security of the code. They do not verify security of the code, and Jeff actually said that as well. So that necessitates wrong behavior. The behavior is that some of the tools will skip over a complex portion of the code because it'll take too long to analyze, and they focus on reporting maybe the number of vulnerability instead of telling you how secure your code is. Even the application security vendors themselves admit that, right? The founders of Coverity wrote a very telling report in Communication of ACM about how they do their code and how this unsound approach can be found everywhere across research, across commercial products. Oh, sorry. So we're looking at today the rate of insecure code to be introduced far outweighs the rate of secure code, if any. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that it's not scalable. It's not a scalable problem. Something has to change. My position is that we need to help developers despite themselves. They want to put their feet up, write their code however way they want, let them do it. What we have to do, we have to take security out of the hands of the developers. We're not going to go educate them, telling them how to write their code differently. We're going to do it for them without having them changing their behavior and their daily jobs. That's the only way we can make quality difference of software security. Is this in fundamental conflict with the SDL? People have been talking about years about building security and pushing security more upstream into the development lifecycle. No, it's actually not. I'm in agreement with every principle here that we need to build security in the development lifecycle. Okay? The only thing I'm disagreeing with is that up till now we assumed to do this, developers have to be involved. I say that's a wrong assumption. Let's take away that assumption and say what we can do about this. Is it doable? I can tell you it's been done before in a limited scale. Okay? Consider type-safe language. What did type-safe languages do for software security? Two things, really. They took away developers' way of directly manipulating memory and automatic garbage collection. Oh, you can argue that garbage collection is also memory manipulation as well. But those two things took away a whole slew of opportunities for developers to make stupid mistakes. And without developers even thinking about doing it. Okay? That's what we need to do. We need some kind of secure development framework that produces secure code without developers, and I'm serious about this, without developers changing their coding behavior and changing their whatever way they want to write code. Okay? Now, we've been talking about developers. What about the second problem? The legacy program problem. So it's been developed. It's not in development lifecycle anymore. It's operational somewhere. What are we going to do about that? I call this the legacy program paradox. Why is that a paradox? Because if organizations have the opportunity, the option to do that, they would like to make it secure. If you can make it secure without them taking down the code, without them diminishing revenues in the short term, they would like to do that, but they don't have a way, they don't have a means to do that today. That's why it's a paradox. So programs are operationally critical. There's nothing we can do about that, right? Short of writing a new program, which is not going to happen. Developers long gone. We don't have anybody who knows the code. And what's the solution? You could spend some time, significant effort, to get somebody else to pour over the code and understand it and possibly make it secure. Likelihood of success, significant effort, but maybe low success rate. Okay? The immediate impact is low because it's not going to happen in the short term. What we need is an alternative solution. We have to do automatic generation of secure code without touching the legacy program, without touching the operations of the legacy program. What's the likelihood of success? I don't know. It's a research proposition. But imagine if we can do this, the impact is high. Okay, what do we need for this automatic generation of patches to happen? Two things, really. We need automatic detection of unknown vulnerabilities. Because it's a legacy code, we don't know what's in there. Clearly, we don't know what vulnerability is in there. So we need a way to find out what's vulnerable. And we need a way to automatic remediate or patch of vulnerabilities. Now, does this sound familiar to you? Sure. Oh, actually, one more thing. To do those two things, we don't actually have to find all the vulnerabilities. We don't have to boil the ocean. All we have to do is find the set of vulnerabilities that are being exploited, okay? Assuming we have that visibility. So people's going to say, oh, this is application firewall. You're proposing application firewall. Well, yes and no. Yes, it certainly sounds like application firewall, maybe quacks like application firewall. What is different is it's not looking for vulnerabilities per se. It's not matching up signatures. It is about automatically generation of provably secure, perhaps attack-resistant, or even functionally equivalent interface to the code that did not exist before. And that's the difference between this and what we know as application firewall today. So I can just hear people saying, I don't want you to change my code dynamically. It's not going to happen. And even, don't touch that. Yeah, I understand. I understand why companies don't want a third party to come in, and it doesn't matter if it's automatic or manual, to change their code. It may be even an emotional response at first. But guess what? Your code's being changed every day. Compilers change your code, you don't think twice about it. Code generators generate machine representation of your code that you didn't write. Compilers make mistakes. Code generators make mistakes. You accept that risk.